Twitter sent out. Get our bot in here. Walk onto the screen and get the Discord taken care of. Alright. Hello everyone, this is Chris Ingerson, and it is August 29th, and this is the August 29th TextQuest Devstream. So, today we are going to be working with some Fmod integrations. Specifically, the first thing we're going to start off with is we're going to try to isolate and get rid of this error that gets logged. This is not an error with the, well, how do I say this? This is a non-fatal error. This is not a problematic error. This is an error that's just being logged as an error, but I'm pretty sure it's actually more of a warning. Basically, this seems to happen whenever there is a an Fmod listener with a specific ID that is larger than all of the other Fmod listeners in the scene. That's a very weird thing to say, but to give you a sense of what that is, really, I want to show you what the hero prefab looks like. Okay, so if we take a look at this, we have our main camera here. If I look at that, I have an Fmod audio listener. This is a custom script that I made. There's a listener index you'll see here that has a range value. It's currently set to 1. I think it goes up to 8. Yeah. So by default, the idea for this is the audio listener with the greatest index takes priority. So that means that if you have multiple Fmod audio listeners in the scene, whichever one has the highest index is the one that's going to actually detect audio being played by Fmod sources. It's super weird that it's clamped to 8. I'm not really sure what the significance of that is. I guess 8 is a power of 8, and that's usually kind of how we increment in sizes, but it's very odd that it's clamped to 8 specifically. Anyway, so I'm not entirely sure what the issue is, but I think the reason that we're running into this is that there are menu cameras. So if we go ahead and play from the start, I'll show you what's happening. Give this a second. Go ahead and turn on maximize play, and I'm going to do this. Skip through. Okay, so we don't have any errors coming up right now. You will, to give you a sense of where we are, we're in the castle. So there's no errors right now. None. But if we go to, I'm just going to go ahead and hit continue. There we go. As soon as our player character spawns in, we get this error. Also, hello Garrett. Welcome back. How you doing today? And yes, it is Fmod. We're trying to get rid of a bug that I thought I got rid of a long time ago, and it's been creeping back in, and I just haven't dealt with it yet. So we're going to try to hunt this down. So what this error seems to be specifying is that there is more than one listener, and the listener itself is somehow less than the number of listeners. Oh, wait, no. So you want it to be this, basically. You want it to be greater than or equal to 0, but less than the number of listeners that exist. And since mine is set to 1, I think what's happening is once all of my menu cameras get disabled, there's only one listener left, which is on the player. But it is set to 1 instead of 0 because I wanted it to always take priority. However, I guess something I can do to test this real quick. I'm going to go ahead and adjust the player character. Where are you? You're somewhere around here. There. I'm going to crank this down to 0, I guess, see if that still gives me the error. And then if it doesn't, I'm going to make sure that my audio is actually working as I would expect. So it needs to be able to handle spawning into a scene for the first time and then transitioning scenes. I think the reason I had to have it be a larger number is because if it didn't transition scenes, then it would when we transition scenes, I think that caused problems. But we'll see. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna just play again. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna load into the scene. I'm just gonna hit continue. We should get the same error. Oh, right. I should probably. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off maximize on play, and I'm gonna. Okay, good. It did clear it. I just want to keep an eye on this. So I'm gonna say start. We will say continue, although that's going to require. Well, I want to match exact parameters of the last test, so I want to wait for this fade in to happen. I don't think it's going to really matter because the camera should have already been enabled, but still. Alright, so we do not have an error here, but... Okay, so I do hear that. That's good. Let's go ahead and teleport... Well, not teleport, but no clip. Down to here. Okay. I'm just going to see... this ends up doing if we still get an issue. There are 2 audios listeners in the scene, huh? That's curious. And they're still enabled. Okay, I want to know what this error was, though. Okay, that's nothing. Okay. Right. I forgot I had that debug in there. So it seems okay. Yeah. Although I think right now my footsteps are still regular audio clips. I'm actually not sure what sounds I have. Let's see here. Collection, audio, sounds. There we go. Spline source, collection, sewers, combat, and sewers. I think these are just regular sound collections, which don't actually have any sounds in them. Go figure. These are regular sound collections. Fmod, castle. Yeah, this is the only one that really has anything right now. So let's go ahead. I'm going to resume. I'm going to go back up to the castle. See if we still don't have a problem. And if we don't, then I guess I just don't have to really worry about it. I can just keep it at 0 and everything should be fine. Alright, I guess everything can actually just be set to 0 and then it's a non-issue. Okay, I was too smart for my own good, or I was not smart enough and I thought I was. So cool, that issue is fixed. Well, that makes things a little bit easier. So I was planning on doing like a whole setup, a whole test scene and everything to get things working, but it does not look like I'm going to have to do that. So let's go ahead. I will organize a little bit. Intro. I'm going to go over here, create. Actually, I don't have to create for that. We can just drag this directly in. All right. So that was a lot faster than I was expecting. But the secondary thing that we're going to be doing is kind of switching over to doing a little bit of audio production. So basically, we're just going to be making a couple of sound effects. But one of the things that I would really like to focus on to start is, let's see. Actually, I'm really curious. One of the things that I would like to do is I would really like to try to improve some editor functionality here. It would be very nice if I, one, knew how long one of these audio effects were, and 2, I would like to know if I can figure out a way to play back that audio in editor. For example, one of the things that I liked about the old Sound Manager stuff when it was just direct audio files is I could do this, which basically allowed me to, mess around with this. But with Fmod, I unfortunately don't really have that. I don't know how long it is. I think right here, do I actually tell you how long it is? Okay, I guess I don't actually tell you how long it is, but you can easily reference that in the clip. But with Fmod sounds, you don't really have a good way of knowing how long the clip is, at least from my experience. So I would like to dig into their code and try to figure out if there's a way for me to get that length. I'm reasonably sure that, well, actually, no, before I start talking about that, let's go to fmod sound source. This is a script that I wrote for basically wrapping the Sound Manager sound source stuff with Fmod support. And it should handle playing the sound and then recycling it itself. But I would like to know if I had actually set up. Let's go ahead and come down to here. Not now. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, whatever. Play sound ID. Blah blah blah. Playing coroutine. I'm 90% sure that, yeah, that's all I do. I basically just wait for the playing to stop, which is, not exactly great, but okay. So something that I would like to be able to do, cache fmod audio source. Let's go to definition here, go to definition here. I wonder if I can actually see how long this is. So I'm going to drag a couple of things out here. We're going to go to fmod sound source. We don't want that. We want fmod sound collection. Open this up. Probably I'm going to need the editor for this as well. So let's go to find all references. Go to the custom editor. We're going to also look at fmod sound. Go to definition here. Right, because I don't think I actually use this. Find all references. Okay, so there is a reference then. Or not. That's used in something else. Okay, so yeah, that's not super useful. So I'm going to go ahead and go down to inspector, blah, 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 add sound, go to definition. So we just create our new sound. Right. I am curious. Let's go down here to fmod sound. I'm going to go ahead and collapse a few things. Fmod soundtrack. Let's go back to definition here. I'm going to drag this over. I think all I do is, yeah, set up an event path here, which is not as useful as I would like. We're going to go ahead and pop back over to here. Event description. Sound source. Cache source. I should probably go ahead and adjust these a little bit anyway. And I actually use you. So I do. But as to why I did this whole thing instead of just making it an SOS mono behavior. It's beyond me. Okay. So I would like to see if I can get anything useful out of this. So I'm going to go down to cache source dot. So we have allow fade out, animation, audio, broadcast message, constant event description. I think that's what we're going to want to dig into. Event parameters, I believe, are something else. I believe that's specifically... That's just the name, I think. Event parameters, I believe, are parameters that have been set up for the particular audio being played. They're not parameters. So parameters are different from values. It's weird to describe. Parameters are basically like flags that you set up manually in your clip, but they're not related to all clips, if that makes sense. Think of them kind of like adjustable values. I'm trying to think of a good analog, but I can't really think of one. Let's see. But they don't contain information about things like clip length, as far as I'm aware. Is playing light name network view override. We don't need to worry about that. Preload. Of course, there are no comments. Send message. Stop. Time transform. Okay. I think all the way up here we want event description. And what are my options here? Dot. Clear handle. Create instance equals. I'm assuming it's these lowercase ones because that's usually pretty terrible. Instance count. Instance list. Get length. Ooh. But that's an integer, not a float, which probably means it's the number of samples, which probably means that we can't... Oh, man, that's going to suck. I wonder if we can do that very well. Oof. 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 That's going to be gross. Okay. So get length, I believe, is going to return the number of samples. I will, however, look that up because if I'm correct, I think we can divide the number of samples by the sample rate, and that gets us our length in seconds. But before I do that, I would like to be sure. Okay, so get length. And out into length. Oof. Blah. Ah, man, this gets so complicated. Oh boy, how do I want to do that? Man, it would be really nice if I could retrieve this information in edit time. I'm kind of envisioning a refresh. Well, I'm probably going to have to dig into Fmod's code to see how they're handling their bank refresh. I get the feeling that they're... so Fmod, when you set up the project, I have it set up to pull directly from an Fmod project. I think when you do that, it pings that bank every now and then to basically try to get it to pull from the project. I think, if I had to guess, all it's really doing is basically checking to see if the project changed, and then if it did, it re-imports that stuff. But if it didn't, then it doesn't worry about it. Although, actually, it does cause problems sometimes. So I think if I can figure out how to follow that, then I should be able to do things like get the length of a sound, evaluate that to a number of seconds, and then like if I go back to Fmod, do some edits, and then come back to Unity, once Fmod refreshes, I should be able to set it up in such a way that the scriptable objects will kind of like go through all of their sounds and reset the lengths to make sure that they're always correct. That's not great. I would prefer to only do that if I have to do it on, or I would prefer to only do that on specific sounds, so I don't have to go through like all of my library to do that. But we'll see what we can get. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and save. I'm also going to come down to here. Are you serializable? I don't think you are. You're just a struct. Yeah. Okay. Which is really not great. I will go ahead and go to definition here. Get path, get parameter count, parameter user, length, description, handle, which I'm assuming is, yeah, it's a pointer, which is not great. Ah, these are all DLL things. Of course they are. Um, that is really going to make things difficult for me. Okay. So let's come back over to here when we have add sound. Do all that fun stuff, and then I'll need some sort of refresh, I think, because fmod sound has a reference to the string event path, which is the event name, basically. And on top of that, so I'm actually going to go back here to compile real quick. So to show you what I'm kind of mumbling about to myself, this is the event information that I'm talking about. So it gives us the GUID for the event, and you can see that this is our path. From those two things, I'm thinking that I could dig through fmod's banks to get the information that I want. Oh boy. Okay. So, all right. This is going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of stabbing into the goop to try and get this. So let's go over here to fmod sound. I'm going to say fmod precision length. So here's one of the things that's frustrating. We're not actually doing anything with length. We never set it, and I would like to be able to set that because it would just make my life easier. And again, it would make things like working with timeline a lot easier, because then I can just reference the length of the fmod sound, and then that can automatically set the duration of a clip. So things like that are a nice quality of life improvement on the dev end. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so for this, I'm going to see if we have any sort of fmod editor functionality. So actually, before we start doing that, I guess we're going to come down to here and say fmod dot. Okay, here we go. Wow, that's a lot of things. Channel group. There's no editor. Fmod unity dot bank load exception, bank graphics. That's an interesting one. Must not found exception, editor bank ref, editor event ref, which is just event ref attribute. Okay. Let's see. Emitter ref, event manager, found event ref attribute, platform. Well, that makes sense. They can't have any editor scripts in the fmod unity class. So, is there really no way to get let's see here. Event callback, event property. These are all structs and enums. Studio version, system. All of which I'm assuming do not have a single bit of documentation or commenting in them. Util. Well, that might do what I want. Parse ID. I'm reasonably sure that that is the event path, but ID string system GUID. Let's see if this is referenced anywhere. Path. Runtime manager. Path to GUID. Path starts with. So that is the GUID. I'm curious. That gives me an fmod result. Which itself, I think, is just an enum. Yeah. Interesting. Nothing useful there. I suppose I could go to the runtime manager, see what's up there. Runtime utils. What are you part of? Fmod Unity, huh? Okay. So how about this? Fmod Unity dot runtime manager. Event manager and a runtime manager. You're not giving me much help there. If I had to guess, this is in the editor. It is right there. Okay. So Event Manager, I think, is the one that handles editor functionality. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a big class. So let's see. Event Cache, string bank extension, bank extensions, file pull time seconds. Aha! I knew it! I have a pinger. Basically, the timer set up to loop to constantly try to pull in new fmod audio, which is why, by the way, fmod, if you've ever worked with fmod in Unity, you'll notice that it refreshes shortly after the project opens, but not when the project opens. That makes sense because it's probably doing this. It's waiting a couple of seconds, and then it's kind of just constantly pinging it every couple of seconds. Hiccups. It's a mono behavior. That seems weird. I'm willing to bet all of this is static. Why did they make it a mono behavior? Ugh. I don't even... Whatever. Clear cache. Update cache. These are all public, which is, well... Clear cache, that's not too bad. Ah, here we are. Editor utils. Oh, you suck so hard. Where are you coming from? Well, why not? Go ahead and save that theory. Fmod sound collection. Let's look for fmod sound collection editor. That's what we want. Well, no, it is using the fmod editor reference. My theory for it not showing up was that it was in an assembly definition file. That means it's probably the nightmare scenario, which probably means don't do it. It's not public, which I thought always defaulted to protected, but since it's a class, I'm willing to bet that it defaults to internal. I'm curious. I'm not sure. Yep, there we go. So it's internal by default. Hooray! Okay. So, my cup runneth over with anger. Let's go down here to editor utils. I mean, I guess I do have access to the source code here. I could just make it public. I'm curious to know what it has in it first. Get bank directory unformatted, validate source, get bank platforms, version number to string, editor utils. There we go. Looks like it is actually listening for those things, which is good. There's our update. I really wish they documented these. I really do. I really wish they also used better formatting for their code because they're using freaking JavaScript formatting, it looks like. Handle on play mode change. Looks like it destroys this and then just rebuilds it. Newer. Okay, we're not worried about that. Update for compiling. We're going to destroy. Okay. Destroy system, create system, update params on emitter. Not too worried about that. Update params on emitter. About freeze state. I'm basically looking to see if they have any built-in utilities to allow referencing things like length already. If we can get back afloat, that would be great. I'm willing to bet it's not going to be that easy, and we will have to do what I was saying, where we divide the sample or the length by the sample rate. Wait, preview event? Oh. Go ahead and drag you over. Are you being used anywhere? Oh. Well. Let's go ahead. I'm going to try this. Preview event. What even are you? This is in the event browser? So if we do this. You don't actually have anything on this, do you? Okay, so I can't preview it from there. At least I don't think so. What is this script? This is the event browser. Preview events. Very curious. Event browser, event browser, event browser. What are you? You're an editor window. Fmod event browser. Alright. Hey, there we go. It has some way of knowing how to do the length, which means that I can dig into it to figure it out. And it has a way of playing it, which means that I can dig into that to figure it out too. Haha! Length of the raw sound file? Essentially, that's what it would be. Well, I guess it wouldn't be the raw sound file, it would be the fmod file. Because in theory, the fmod file could contain multiple things, each with different lengths. So I need to know how long basically the fmod event is going for. But seeing this script or this window means that I can basically see what they're doing there, and then I can actually kind of dig into it to see how it handles it. Yeah, I can even add stuff like this. It would be super awesome if it would just let me add that like right here. I wonder, actually, do we have... Let's go to the fmod folder, which I'm assuming is in plugins. Standardized CPU soft. Pro Builder. Here we are. Fmod. Okay. And we want fmod wrapper bank event ref attribute. Unfortunate. Well, I suppose worst comes to worst, we can kind of dig into this. So, yeah, use their editor code as examples. Yeah, I get the feeling that's what I'm going to have to do. I really, really wish that they documented these things, or at least commented, because it's pretty bad. Um, especially when you have especially when you have a very complex system like fmod. You'd think that it would be a priority to make sure that it was as easy as possible to use. Um, Especially because fmod is natively integrated into Unity. You'd think that there would be some sort of back and forth support there. Um, so the Unity team would be saying like fmod, maybe some documentation would help users pick up fmod. Um, okay, so let's see. Set preview event. This is a window, which means that somewhere in here is an onGUI function. Not onGUID. And that's what we need to figure out how to do this all. All right. So I'm going to try to drag this over to the left and see if I can keep it. Good, I can look at it while I'm doing this. So it looks like we have, let's see, show notification, no fmod studio banks loaded. But yeah, generally whenever you're working with a plugin of this scope, the most reliable way to just figure out what they're doing is to tear their code apart and figure out what they do. So we have to rebuild display from cache. Cool, a commented outline for some reason. Event icon, utility.load. Mod event icon, PNG. I really wish they would stop doing this too. Freaking editor GUI utility.load is the lazy way of doing this, but whatever. Okay, so let's see here. From inspector, I think we're going to be looking for selected item does not equal null. An event.current type. Key down? Why would you even care about that? Whatever. Weird. Okay, so we're going to say event.current keycode is equal to keycode.up arrow. Oh, interesting. This is just for navigation purposes? Yeah, fair enough. All right. I'll give you that. Actually, yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll give them that. That's actually a pretty nice feature. So they're basically just detecting keystrokes to move up and down. Let's see your key code down arrow, key code use. We don't have to worry about that. Begin area, search rect. Okay, so here's where the actual GUI starts. The rest of this was apparently just setting up code. So we have our search rect. We have our search box. All good. So that's what this is. This is all the search stuff. I am assuming that that's what this is. Out of curiosity, I'm going to try hitting escape. Oh. Darn. I thought that's what that was. Okay, so let's see, show the tree view. So that's, this is the tree view. Let's go ahead and pop back in here. Search filter, x.name dot to lower. I have to assume tree item is a tree, but they spell it regularly because they're boring. Okay, so contains blah blah blah. Check if our selected item still matches the entire string. We don't care about you really. List rect. That's what this is. Roll. We're not really worried about the tree stuff. Here we are. Preview event. If selected item and selected item.event ref. So there are a couple of things that we need. Preview starts with snapshot. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So this is what we're interested in right here. This preview and stuff. I'm wondering if I can just use. Oh no, of course not. Ah, they put all of their code into one spot instead of having it be a nice little utility function. That would be super great to be able to call. But what are you gonna do? So this whole chunk of code, I think, is what we need. Wow, it's really that bad, huh? All right. We're going to. Wow, that's just so very frustrating. Okay. Final references. There's only one spot right here. Selected item, event ref. Let's see where selected item is set. Contains selected item, selected item, selected item, selected item. Bank ref, event ref does not equal null. Property event ref is equal to null. Okay, let's find out where this gets assigned. Editor event. Very interesting, very interesting. Editor event. Split. Is that good enough? Okay, so this is going to be very awkward. Oh, here we are. Event manager.events. Okay. Okay, I think I know what I need to do here then. All right, I got you. So, this is very awkward, but I think we can do it. We need to do a couple of things. One, I need to go down to fmod sound manager. Well, let's not do that. How about fmod sound drawer? Okay. Let's see, fmod sound. This is. Okay, that's less nice than I would like. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and create folder fmod. I'm just going to go ahead and put this in there. Before I forget anything, I'm going to scroll up to here. We're going to go to audio. Fmod audio listener, I'm going to do source as opposed to sound. I guess, yeah, that's going to get super awkward. Oh man, really? Why are you here? This is the most random place for you. Are you even used? Okay. Why? What? Button sound? What? I don't remember at all what this is used for. Fmod button sound. Yeah, I think it only. Okay. Weird. Whatever. I guess I'll leave you in there then. So it's a little awkward, but this is going to be positioned elsewhere. So I'm going to move this down here to here. It's going to be a child of a fmod folder, and then I'm going to rename it to be sound. There's no reason for me to keep these two things isolated. Okay, so that was just for fmod functionality. We're going to go ahead and scroll down here. So we have editor, audio, fmod. That brings everything pretty much in line. So minor project restructuring, which is always fun. And basically, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to create a generic. I can't drag this over because Unity's compiling. I'm going to try to create a generic utilities class, or not utility class, a generic utility method that I can call to preview this each particular sound, basically, to let me have this pop-up menu that fmod has created. So let's go ahead and I'm going to put this right here because I need to restructure not a lot, but a little bit. And of course that requires total imports, or total re-importing for scripts, which is a bit annoying, but it is what it is. So, okay, let's go ahead and collapse that. I have one more thing that I have to do. I just have to rename this sound, and then we'll be good. And while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and create a new script. Come on, Unity. I believe in you. I know you can do it. Oh, I suppose I should also say we're doing audio. Oh, not art. Sorry. There we go. Audio today. I always forget what I do for my shortcuts for audio. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and rename this real quick. We're just going to call this sound. Yes, I know you're going to re-import scripts, and that's going to cause recompilation. All right. So I'm going to scroll down to here, and I'm just going to create custom fmod editor utility. Wow, what a mouthful. It looks like custom fmod utility. All right, so let's go ahead and open this up. That's going to be recompiling for a bit. We're going to put this in the text quest. Well, that's fine for now. This is not going to be a mono behavior. It's just going to be a static class. I'm going to say using fmod unity. Okay, and so we're going to need to go down to fmod audio source preview event. Find we're going to come down to here. Okay, I'm going to drag this event browser over to here. We can get rid of you, I think. And I need to go up to, let's see, selected event. Which itself is a editor event ref. And then I need to know, let's go to find all references here, how that's set. I'm pretty sure that it is done by basically looping through all of the possible events. Where are you? Event ref, find all references. Let's see, event ref. Let's see, event ref is not equal to no, item.event ref. Okay, so this is, yeah, this is totally their data tree. It's got to be, right? Yep, that's their data tree. They just use TREE. So we have our editor event in editor events. We're going to split up. Wow, this is terrible. Refill display from cache. Do these get cached? No, because they're being created at runtime. Wow, how awful is that? Okay, editor event. path is what we need. At the end of the day, that's all we really care about. So we're going to come down to here. Class containing utility methods for fmod in the editor. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and say public static, what was it, event, editor event ref, I guess. Editor event ref get editor event, and that's going to be based on string path, I think. Okay, so for this we're going to need to say var var events is equal to what were you? Event manager dot events. Okay. So this is a, we're going to say using system.collections.generic. So this is a list of editor event refs. So list editor event refs. Okay. And then on top of that, wow, we just got to iterate through all of them, don't we? So we're just going to go ahead and say for int I equals 0, I is less than events.count, I plus plus. If events of I dot path is equal to path, return events of I, return. Are you struct? Your class. Okay, good. That means I can null you out. I'm not happy that it's like iterating through all events everywhere. I really wish that that was not a thing. But I get the feeling I don't really have much of a choice. Well, I suppose it would make more sense in this situation to make my own tree. I guess. Ugh. Well, no, I don't need to build a tree. I guess it's fine for me to just loop through all of them. It's not really the end of the world in this case. So it just kind of sucks that I can't really can't really think of a good way to cache this information. I don't like digging through that data all the time. All right, we'll see how performant this is, and if it's not really too bad, then it'll be fine. I assume this won't really be a problem now, but towards the end of the project's life, this is going to be terrible. I would assume it's going to iterate through hundreds of audio files. Well, it's fine. So the next thing we want to do is we're going to make a function here called public static void draw. How about draw event preview area? And we'll give it a rect position followed by a editor event ref event. Oh, I can't call it that, can I? Because you'll get mad. Right. I guess we'll call it editor event. Editor event. Okay. And then we're going to come back to here. Actually, we're going to come back to here. We don't care about you, actually. We are going to go back to here. And preview event is basically what I need. Let's find all references here. Come back to here. Oh, man. Back pain. Gotta stretch. My back's getting a little stiff. Okay. So if plain and stopped, plain or stopped. Oh, I guess pausing is possible. That's very interesting. I'm going to try that real quick, actually. Oh, how interesting. It won't let me do anything here, actually. Oh, right. It won't let me do it while it's compiling because there could be problems. So we gotta wait for it to compile before I can actually do anything. Boo. Well, while that's happening, trying to think of anything exciting I saw in the gaming world right now. Most recent thing I can really think of is PS5 dev kit getting leaked, which is interesting. But dev kits are just dev kits. Okay, so let's try. Huh, weird. Okay, I have no idea how it pauses then. That's a thing, I guess. Oh, whatever. I don't remember how it. I don't remember how to reset this, but whatever. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clear this. We're going to pop back in here. Collapse this. Just found a neat bug in the character controller asset I'm using. If you press space when the game is paused, it incorrectly sets the jump force value to none. Found it when I opened my debug console typing command. Huh! That's weird. Why would it set it to not a number? I guess that could mean it's getting set to infinity and it's wrapping weirdly. But that seems odd. I have no idea why that would, how that would even happen. Really, that's super weird to me. Okay, so we want basically this entire thing. So I guess all I'm really gonna do is I'm just gonna pull this out and see what sticks and what doesn't. Okay, so I want this whole thing. We're just gonna paste this in and see what we get. Oh my, we have quite a few. Yeah, okay, quite a few things. So we're gonna come up to here. We're gonna say using Unity editor. Okay. Preview rect, I'm assuming, is what we were using here. I'm guessing that was just the name of the rect. Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and rename this preview rect. Okay. And then selected event. Okay, looking pretty good. We're going to say using system.text because it's using string builders. Time span, which I believe is system. Preview custom. Geez, really? System.io too? Oh boy. Preview custom rect. What are you? Let's find out. Let's see. Repaint. Preview custom rect. You're just rect. Okay. Not super useful. Find all references. Last rect. How odd. Wait. It's only set. That seems odd. That seems unnecessary, actually. But, okay. Well, I guess what we're going to do is we're just going to declare, copy this, and I'm going to just try and do this right here. I'm just going to say rect that is equal to, I think I can actually do rect dot 0, Editor utils preview state. Preview stop, preview pause. Okay. It's even public, which drives me insane. But the problem is, I really, really, really hate editing third-party code, especially if it's code that I might actually update at some point, and I'm thinking of updating to Fmod Studio 2, because that came out a little bit ago. Looks like it does a divide by when timescale is 0. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Still. Shame, shame, shame. Okay. So let's go ahead and pop over here to go to references. You're just not really going to help me here. You're going to cause all sorts of problems when I move you over, but it's okay. I'm going to go down to here. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. You're going to... Man. It really does seem like the easiest thing to do here is just to make this freaking public. Like that. I have no idea why it was marked as internal. It really should be public. Also, it shouldn't be a mono behavior, but whatever. Excuse me. So, event position. Let's scroll all the way up here. Force repaint. Force repaint. Really? Oh, right. It's because it's wrong script. Okay, all this is doing, I'm guessing, is just a... It's not serialized. Why is... whatever. But why? Oof. Okay. So I guess we'll put this here. Okay. Event position. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Peak definition here. Event position is just a thing. Final references. Are you actually set up usefully? Set preview event. I'm a little... You know, I almost feel like it would be easier to hook up a... Wow, it really would, actually. I almost feel like it would actually be a lot easier for me to just open up the event browser and then call set preview event and just do that. I actually do think that that would be a good way to go here. Set selected item, final references. Because that means I don't have to have this whole, like, clunky... Ah, man, freaking... I know, you're going to cause all sorts of problems. But basically, if I simplify this, let's go ahead and go down to sound collection, show this. The idea is that I would basically have a button below here that I could just say, like, it would say, I don't know, open preview, and that would basically just open up Fmod event, this Fmod event explorer, and then jump to the event, and then it would highlight here. That, to me, would be the easiest thing to do. So, as long as I can do that, I think we might actually be able to skip this whole thing. That means all I would need to do is go to set selected item, then set preview event. Yeah. So I can just go here. If I make this public. So with just 2 public adjustments, then I could essentially do this. So I'm going to go to look up sound. I guess we'll say fmod sound. Drawer. Okay. Come back down to here. We have our fun on GUI stuff. Property.find property relative. Blah 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 blah. And then what I can do is I can just say. Oh, well, look at that. Much easier. So all of my utility stuff that I was doing does not even need to really be a thing. Okay. So that means that if I come down to here, I'm going to go down to here and say if GUI layout dot button, new GUI content, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to say preview event. We'll say open the event browser and show preview, no, previous preview information, preview data for the event. Okay, and from there we can simply go to event browser. You are a public class now, which means I can come down to here and I can say editor window dot get window, or actually, you know what? Show event browser. That'll work. So we're going to say event browser dot show event browser, and then we're just going to say event browser browser window is equal to editor window dot get window event browser. Okay, that should get me that, and then I can say window dot set preview event, and then I can do this. Let's see if this will work. Honestly, I think that might do everything that I need it to. I am curious. Very, very, very curious. Okay, so no, wait, hold on. Oh, right. Let's go ahead and fix that. Okay, so we're just going to comment out the entirety of that class. And that should keep it working. Okay, so let's go ahead and once that compiles, of course. Can't rush it, apparently. Alright, so I'm going to deselect that. Good. Let's go ahead and close this. I'm going to try this. Wait, what just happened? Something. Oh, duh. I did a terrible thing. Whatever, it's fine for now, I guess. It just so happened to work out. So we're going to go ahead and hit preview event. Interesting. Seems like that wasn't enough. I think I have to set the selected one too. So we're going to go down to here. We're going to say show, set preview event, go to definition, preview stop, not equal to null, event ref dot parameters, event position. Oh, I see. That doesn't actually do anything. I suppose we could try this. I'm going to say public void set selected item. Find all references. I would like to know where this is going. Highlight the first found item. Set selected item. Can I get you from anywhere? No, hold on. Set selected item. Item event ref. Show event folder. See, that's the thing. I really don't want to mess down. Rect.contains. Get last rect. Okay. I'm gonna pop back over here and then look at this. So this is what we're trying to replicate. I'm going to keep that over on the left screen here while I try to dig through the code here. I think... Well, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure why we're checking for our last rect and then setting the selected item based off of that. All of this is just based off of this. Let's go to find all references here. PQ, of course you're internal. Of course you are. Why would you not be? Really don't want to have to freaking... I don't want to dig through this and do a bunch of reflection and do a ton of code changes. So the reason that I am so hesitant... Oh, we also have a squiggle. Right. So the reason I'm so hesitant to do this, to edit third-party code, is because anytime I update the asset, the code will change back to what it was. If I had significant changes, then it becomes problematic to access. That's why I typically do favor having my own wrapper for their functions. But at the same time, everything's marked internal because for some reason, I guess they just didn't want people using their APIs. Okay. I suppose I can do this. Our event to this. We're just going to say editor event, and we're just going to go ahead and say log editor event.path. Okay. I guess we'll also do editor event is equal to null question mark this, otherwise it's going to be the path null. So let's see if that value was null, and that's why it didn't highlight anything first. And then if that's not the case and it's not null, then unfortunately it's I think I yawn when I get frustrated. Okay, so we're going to let that compile. While that's happening, I'm going to take a drink. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and go back to here. Let's just hit preview event. Cancel snap. That is correct. So it was not null, but it did not highlight it, which means that it doesn't really care about that, unfortunately. Boo. Let's go back here to event browser. Set preview event, final references. I can't imagine that there are that many things that we call here. Set selected item, which we obviously can't really do. Rebuild display from cache. It's also not something that we can do. Unfortunate. I feel like I have to do this, basically. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and I'm going to see where you're being referenced. I'm hopefully not going to be terribly horrendous. Tree items is there. Okay, I might be able to get away with just adding a public function that I can kind of just squeeze at the top here. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and just say public static void set current set selected item, and that's going to take an we'll just make it the string, so we'll say path, and then we're just going to say just going to copy this. I don't know if I'm going to need that quite yet. So we're just going to go ahead and put this into path. Okay. And then on top of that, we're going to want to figure out how they're iterating through their tree. I think we might be able to dig through it. I know. It is quite odd. Let's see here. Exists. So I could give it a predicate. Excuse me. So we're going to say set selected item custom. So somewhere around here. Tree item contain selected is equal to null. Contain selected is equal selected items. Search filter. Search filter is equal to lower that contains. Okay, so really all I need to do here is do. Let's see, tree items. Search filter. What Okay, I think I know what to do here. Okay, let's go ahead and try that. So I'm going to go up to here. Instead of doing this, I'm going to say predicate, what was it, tree item. Predicate is equal to say or say x dot path, is that what I wanted? Name is equal to path. Right? Is that what I wanted? Yes. I think that's what we wanted. So that means that I can then go to set selected. Not that. Show event folder. I think. And then just say, give it that tree item. So let's try that. Let's go for, what was it? Tree. I don't know what they called them. Tree items, I guess. Well, so tree items. Really? How interesting. T-R-E-E. It's not because I declared it before. Pretty sure it's not that. Really? Huh. What the freak? Is it because they're internal? No, okay. Why can't I reference it then? It won't let me. I should be able to just reference this. Why? Why were you giving me squiggled? Oh, it's because it's static. Duh. Right, okay. Well, we'll just not make that static. Ugh. I hate it when I do stupid things like that. Okay. So we want to say dot find. There first. No, they're just doing find. Okay. And then predicate. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and say tree item. Item is equal to that. And I probably could actually just go ahead and do this. No real reason for me to. No, why am I doing that? I feel like something's going wrong here. If the item event restaurant item does not equal no content label eventee blah 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 drag and drop. Okay, so I think I can do that then. So we'll go ahead and just real quick. I'm gonna say, where is show event folder referenced? Can I pass it null? No, I can't, but I guess I could do that. No. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and scroll back up to here. Ah, of course I lost it. Move this, put this up to here, boom. Down to here, and we're going to say show event folder. We're going to say item and tree items. We can just do that. 0 followed by predicate, I guess. Let's get rid of this and feel like that's all we'll need to do. So we're going to go down to here. I'm just going to go ahead and comment this out, and I'm going to grab this, copy that, I'm going to put you down, come up to here, and we're just going to say window dot set selected item custom, give it that, and let's see what happens. I will say I generally prefer editor scripting for Unity tooling more so than this. This is pretty rough. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to close this. I'm going to say preview event. You still didn't do it. I was worried that that might be a problem. What? Event browser 148. What? What? Maybe the white space is throwing everything off and it actually should be a few things lower. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say find all references. Where are tree items actually set? I see you. New list. Tree item. Tree item. Okay. Not exactly what I would think. But we're on the right path, it would seem. I'm going to say debug.log tree item dot count. Okay, then debug.log tree items 0 is equal to null, I guess. That's all I can really think of. I guess I could try looking through the tree items like I was originally going to do and see if that actually gives me anything useful. It seems like that would be the better way to approach it, just because, well, I want to select the actual one, but I wonder. Do you have a set selected item? Okay. That might be better. So I'm going to go ahead and do this again. And we're just going to go ahead and say set selected item. Okay. Go ahead and let that happen. My favorite part of the coding process. Compilation times. Oh man, it really is a problem though. I really wish that compiling was a little bit faster. Even with assembly definition files, it's still pretty slow. Well, at any rate, okay. We're going to go ahead and clear that. We're going to try opening that up. Nothing happened again. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I probably need to go through and restructure my project a bit to try and isolate things a little bit better, but I've not set aside time to do that. Okay, so I don't know if that means that this item was null. Let's go ahead and try that. Debug.log item is equal to null. If that was null, that would explain why none of this is changing. If it's not null, it's very frustrating to me, I can tell you that. So all this does is just call show, which shouldn't really do anything crazy. So, okay. I'm hoping that this is not null. If it is null, then... If it's not null, then that probably means I'm just missing a step. And I have to, like, simulate clicking on it or something. It's null. Of course it is. Okay. That's highly vexing to me. Mostly because, let's go to, like, torch. Yeah. So if I go to SFX and then intro castle torch, should be event SFX intro castle torch. It's the exact same thing, which is unfortunate. Log tree items count. I would like to make sure that that is actually initialized, that there is a list to look through. But yeah, as far as compile times go, I'm much more conscious about that sort of thing now. So whenever I start a new project, it is much more, well, my newer projects are much more well organized than my older projects. So I'm like crazy about making sure everything's assembly definitioned as we would expect. Try to kind of isolate everything so that we keep everything separate and we don't have a bunch of overlapping functionality. It's actually a pretty refreshing way to code, but 3, there we go. So your tree does not exist. So there has to be a tree function where they return a tree item. And I'm pretty sure I did see that at some point. Something like get tree or something like that. Okay, let's go through all of these. Get last rect, get last rect. Last rect, get metering. Extension. Okay, not looking great for me. Let's go ahead and go back to tree items, find all references. The fact that it's only got a list of 3, I don't know, that kind of makes sense actually. So that could conceivably actually not give me something useful. Let's go to get tree item, go to definition. You do not have anything useful to me. Find all references here. I swear that there was a function here somewhere in the script that I glanced at that basically handled showing tree data, which I think might have just been about this filter. Child folder, children, no. Let's go ahead and come back up to here. Show event folder, find all references. Filter, search filter, here we are. Search filter is equal to this. Predicate name, children. Name dot to lower, or children dot exists. Okay. They're doing the least efficient way. Do we just drink comparisons? I can't blame them. I used to do that. Okay, so we want to say or if children exists. Maybe that's what we want. So let's go ahead and say this. or x.children.exists. That's awkward. It's very awkward. Huh. That is interesting. I have not seen that before, so it's passing its own predicate into itself. Alright, let's give that a shot then, I guess. I wonder if you'll let me do that right there. No, I didn't think so. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Paste that is equal to null. Predicate is equal to that. Okay. And let's see if that changes anything. And if it does, we're going to do, I don't think you're going to change anything, so let's go ahead and go back to show event folder tree items 0 and then predicate. Let's try that. Because search filter I don't think gets changed after that, so I guess we can try it. Oh man, I will definitely say I do not drop my pencil. I am not a fan of kind of stabbing into Fmod's editor tools. It's just very frustrating to try and get anything. And I think this is largely a usability side, or a usability issue on Fmod's part. Because I don't think it's that this functionality is not there. It's that they have made it somewhat obtuse to get into. Nothing very useful there. But we didn't get an error that time, which is useful. Interesting. X. I suppose. Alright, fine. I'm just gonna copy this entire thing, I guess, and see if we can get it. Okay. Let's see what this ends up doing. Am I missing one? Okay, no. I just didn't want to get rid of the squiggle. Let's see if this gets rid of it. If it does, I'm actually going to be very, very annoyed. So I'm kind of anticipating that it's not going to. Come on. You can do it, Unity. There we go. Clear this. Ah! You just can't let me have anything nice. Oh! Also, it was not null that time. Maybe I can just do this now? Hmm. It could be. If it's not null, then that actually makes things a lot easier for me. That is interesting, though. I've never actually thought about. So I guess if you set a predicate to be equal to null, and then you set the predicate to be something, including the predicate, the new something will be part of the predicate? That's super weird. Oh. So, it didn't quite work, but something did change. So, for example, boom. So it goes into the events. Now, that means if I start, I'm curious, if I go to torch. Okay. So I think what's happening here is that it's selecting the root folder, but it's not giving me what I want. How are we digging through this? Um, let's see. Child folder, exists, match for selected. I really don't want to. Wait. I see. I see. I see. I see. Okay. I think I know what it is. So, I was passing in the whole path, and that's not correct. Because the name is torch for this, not event colon forward slash sfx forward slash intro forward slash castle forward slash torch. So that means I have to spool through all of the tree data, which is unfortunate, but not the worst. I think it's basically just this chunk of code right here. Okay. So, with that, I think we can figure this out. Right here. That's what I need. I just need this chunk of code right there. So we're going to go ahead and copy that. I'm going to go all the way up to the top here. And I'm just going to say private tree data, or not tree data, tree item, get tree item, string path for event. See. Yes. List troops. Tree item. Okay. Editor event, which of course is going to give me problems. Editor event. I guess. All right, fine. So we can go back up to here, up to here. We can pass that in. Well, not really. We can put this down here. Okay. And then what I need to do is I need to basically return a thing here. Level is equal to item children. Item dot exists equals true. So we're gonna say if item is not equal to null. Ah, there we go. I think we can say return item, or item here, and then here we'll just return null. Okay, and then what I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to say get rid of all of these things. I'm going to go ahead and comment if I could type all of this, and we're going to say get tree item for event. We're going to give it the path, and then we're just going to say tree item is equal to that. And we're just going to say debug.log item is equal to null. Okay, and then I'm going to say set selected item. Let's see if that works. Because I think it might. That is super weird. Oh, also my search string was all kinds of, I didn't have a search string, it was just there. Alright, problematic. Okay. So, let's see. Damn it. Wait, did it work? Okay, so you don't work for you, but you do for you. Not for you? You're a 2D sound. Right. Okay, cool. I got you. So it's working. It's... Oop. Okay, that kind of sucks. It's a little weird because it's not opening the folder to it. But that's fine. I would have preferred that it did that, but whatever. So that's set selected item. Was it like show? No. That's set selected item. Was it like set preview item? Oh, whatever. Do we have an expand, maybe? We have an expanded state. Final references. Hold on. Okay, so that's super awkward, but I could probably add like a utility call here that lets me set item.isExpanded to be true. Or expanded is equal to true. I'm curious if that's going to do anything. Find all references here. See, I thought that that's basically how it would, yeah. Handle it, but this is gonna, yeah, okay, that's fine. So let's go ahead and try this real quick. And if we have that working, then we have a basically what amounts to a nice shortcut to show preview information. It's a little frustrating because if the window is not already open, it's going to require like a secondary button press to do it, which is not the worst thing ever, but it's annoying because basically you're going to have to like click preview event and then wait for the window to pop up and then click preview event again, which is not ideal. It's not really what I like to do. Also, yeah, that didn't actually seem to do anything, which is unfortunate. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. I'm going to go over to my sound drawer. We're going to properly set up this this button here. So we're going to need, let's see, height equal. We're going to say 6F and then 6F and then that's probably okay for now. We're going to go ahead and come down to here. We're going to say GUI layout or GUI.button. We're going to give it the position. And then before we do anything with that, we're just going to come up to here and we're going to say position dot y plus equals position dot height plus editor GUI utility dot vertical spacing. Okay. Whatever, that's fine. So let's go ahead and we're just going to do that, let that compile. Well, I am a little disappointed that I had to adjust their code. I mean, all I had to do was add 2 functions and make 2 classes public. Actually, I don't even know if I need to have editor utils be public anymore. But I could have this be internal again, and it would be fine. Because yeah, we're not doing anything with this, and we're not doing anything with that. So only one class needed to be public event browser, and it only needed 2 functions added to it. It's not ideal though. Also, I blame fmod for not having tree item be able to search itself for its own children. Why would you have a data tree not be able to search itself? Whatever. Oh. Well. You're interesting. You're too tall. Huh. Okay. That's very curious. Ah! That's why it's hiding. Okay. So we do need that to be there. We actually want this to be this times 2f. So that was my mistake. All right. So let's go back to Unity real quick. Well, I don't actually know. Let's find out. I think I need to add another space there. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. There we go. Okay, so I gotta change that around a little bit. So this is going to be times 7, and instead of this, it's going to be set to position.y. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to do a couple of optimizations here. Height is equal to u. Set. Okay, so we're just going to say go ahead and do position dot height here. Keeps things nice and clean. We're going to go ahead and pop back over here. And boop. 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 And this is actually going to change a little bit. So this is going to be not times 2f. It's just going to be that. And we're going to redo this to be position.set. Position.x followed by position.y plus position.height plus editor GUI utility.standard vertical spacing. Okay, and then position.width followed by editor GUI.get property height. This. Okay, so that's that, and we're going to get rid of this position.y plus equals that. And this is now going to be a position.set as well. So we're going to say position, can't spell, position.set, position.x, position.y plus position.height plus editor GUI utility.spacing. Okay, followed by position.width, followed by editor GUI utility.standard. No, not that, sorry, single line height. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. That should properly have everything set up. So that should basically let me have a nice preview button that will open up information on the path, the bank it belongs to, all of these settings, which is pretty nice. I probably can dig into that. Hiccups. Okay. So it looks like all of that is there. Funny enough, I guess all of that was already kind of available to me. But now I can actually open this up, give it a nice little bit of preview. Okay, cool. That's probably a pretty good place to stop for the night. I actually would like to come back through here and redo my UI for this a little bit to use my new aesthetic that I do for coding. So we're going to go ahead and call it a night there. We managed to get preview set up, or preview support for Fmod kind of set up. It's not quite as smooth as I would like, but it is functional. So now we can actually preview this stuff without having to like pop all the way over to Fmod, find the event, and then figure out, or hit space, listen to it, and go all the way back to Unity. I can just hit a button here, pull it up, and hit play. That's pretty nice. And being able to open it up in Fmod is pretty nice, or is pretty nice too. So this will be useful. I think it'll speed up my audio workflow a fair amount. So, all right. Announcements, don't really have anything. We should be good for this weekend streaming. And yeah, so as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.